All right.
Hello, today I have Chris with me. Hi, Chris. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Chris Blackwater. I'm an engineer turned writer, and my first book, Emergency Drill, is coming out on, it's come out today in ebook. So this is it. This is publication day.
And congratulations. I thought it was actually. I was going to check with you before we started recording, but I forgot. Did you always know that you wanted to be a writer?
I always wanted to write. I think I realized at quite an early age that writing wasn't a big earner, you know. It wasn't probably going to pay the bills. So yes, I was always kind of focused on doing something that would get me a decent job, and then writing was being a hobby until pretty recently, really.
And what made you take the plunge and think, that's it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to sit down and write the book?
Well, I wrote a couple of novels through the years, and but they weren't seriously publishable, I guess. And then I did a crime writing course in Portsmouth with a guy called Will Sutton, and that gave me an idea, and I sent that idea off. I wrote the start of Emergency Drill, and I sent that off to the W. Dagger Awards just on a whim, really, and it got shortlisted. So, yeah, that was it. I realised that I had something there that people might actually want to read and buy, and I went off in search of a publisher.
And how long ago was it from when you first had that idea to actually today getting your book released?
Oh, well, I would say probably about 3.5 years, something like that. It's a fairly slow process, as I'm sure you know.
And since the day that you decided, okay, I'm going to do this, what have you found easier than you expected, and what have you found more difficult?
Well, I suppose the easy bits, the writing. I mean, okay, you get stuck occasionally, but it's kind of about thinking you've got to get out, tens of thousands of words, but actually, when you got an idea and it flows quite quickly. But yes, I don't know. I suppose the things that I found difficult were some of the sort of research aspects, really, because I thought I'd picked something I knew quite a lot about, and then you start writing about it in detail, and you find out you don't know as much as you thought. And well, it's not exactly a mistake, but I gave myself a challenge by making my protagonist a medic. And I was kind of about a third of the way into the book before I realized I know nothing about medicine. So, yeah. So that I had to go and find a few people who could help me out.
Yeah. What's the most interesting thing you found out while doing research? What's the biggest rabbit hole you've gone down as well?
Sorry, I missed that one.
What's the most interesting thing you found doing research, and what's the biggest research rabbit hole you've gone down?
Oh Lord, yes, that's a difficult one, really. I think I think I just probably spent too much time on research. If you're talking about rabbit holes, because you get interested in things which are nothing to do with the plot whatsoever, and for a minute, for a short while, I start thinking, oh yeah, I could do a medical degree, no problem. Yeah, I got this. And before you know it, weeks have gone by and you've not written anything.
Weeks, wow. Do you have a favourite character in your book?
I think it's got to be Gemma. She's the radio operator and the heli admin on the oil rig that my protagonist Danny, the medic, is going out to, and she's larger than life, and she's an Aberdeen girl, and she gives as much as she gets on an oil rig. You imagine what it's like offshore. It's sort of 98% men. So very sort of working environment, and yeah, you have to be able to hold your own really, and she does that quite spectacularly.
Good stuff.
And
I
she
like
has
that
quite
word.
a dark sense of humour as well, which is what you need.
Yeah, I can imagine. Have you written any of your own personality into any of your characters?
I don't know about the personality. I think my friends have to be a judge of that, but Danny, my protagonist, he's got some of my background at least. So I've given him a bit of my backstory and maybe a bit of the personality as well. But we'll see what people say.
Yeah, when people
I think
read it.
I think it's unavoidable that you're going to get a little bit of yourself into your main character.
Yeah. And how about other people you know? Have you used anyone as sort of inspiration?
I have, and I've tried desperately to sort of not make it too obvious, because I mean, part of the inspiration for writing the book was the sort of characters that I've met when I've been working offshore, and there are some guys out there you think you just would not get a job on shore. You're just so out there. So and then lots of interesting people, great people you meet out there. So I've tried to make my characters a bit of an amalgam of real people with some fictional characteristics and names, obviously. So it's not too obvious, but there's definitely a lot of the guys that I've met have appeared in it some way, in some form.
Are there any secret notes or messages or Easter eggs in your book?
I suppose there's a few in-jokes that perhaps people who worked in the industry will get, and some of the rivalries between the different groups of people that work out there. So there's a little bit of in-jokes, but no Easter eggs as such, really.
What was one of the most fun scenes that you wrote, and what was one of the most difficult? Obviously, without spoilers, if you can.
Well, I suppose there's one scene that might that probably it was the most difficult to write, but probably the most fun, because there's a, without going too much into the plot, there's an accident happens quite early on in the novel, and Danny's called into action to try and save a guy's life, but with the limited resources he has on the oil rig, and so that was a bit of a challenge to write that, but it was also quite fun trying to get all the action, and there's a lot happening in a very short period of time, but I did have to have it carefully checked by a medical professional for malpractice suits.
Yeah, I imagine the rules are different, aren't they, offshore and stuff as well? I imagine it changes quite a lot.
Yes, but they have to be pretty self-sufficient out there. I mean, you can't just phone for an ambulance. So guys have to be able to do a lot of things that you wouldn't consider doing, in a normal environment.
Yeah. When you were editing your book, what was your most overused word or phrase?
Well, probably well. I was starting, all the characters would either start a sentence with I if they were Scottish, or well if they were English. So some heavy editing there.
I love every author knows their word within seconds. all of you know your your downfalls.
But you can't help it, can you? I mean,
No.
you write it and then you come back, oh, not again. No.
Yeah. I think they'll change and evolve as well. As you write different books, it will be different words as well. Do you have plans to write more?
Yes, well, I was lucky enough to get a 2-book deal with Dark Edge Press, so I immediately had to start on the second one, and actually that was a lot easier, so I got the hang of it a bit. So yes, that's pretty much finished now. I just need to do a bit of a final edit before I send it off. And it's going to be similar. It's similar, same characters or same main characters, but they're going to be transplanted to the Orkneys, so a little bit of a different environment, and work out their problems in.
And would you like to make it into a long series, or would you rather write standalones?
I would at the moment. I mean, at the moment I've got loads of ideas, and there are lots of interesting places I've worked that would make good locations for the novel. So, I mean, there's probably a limited number of murders you can have on oil rigs. So, but you know, otherwise it sort of turns into sort of midsummer oil field or something. But yeah, I've got lots of ideas. So yeah, as long as the ideas keep flowing, yes, I'd love to keep going. I mean, I really like the characters. So as long as people like reading about them, then yeah, I'll continue with the series.
Have you had much feedback so far?
Yeah, and all really positive. Yeah, so yes, I'm fingers crossed. It all seems to be going pretty well.
Because I know your blog tour starts today, because I'm on it tomorrow, so you'll sure have to wait till tomorrow to find out what I think.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
But yes, I'm on the blog tour, so you'll get lots of reviews via that anyway.
Well, that is going to be a bit nerve-wracking. First proper review. I mean, I've had lots of verbal feedback and what have you, and obviously you get people who know you say how wonderful it is, and then you wonder that they're just being nice.
Yeah, you'll know. Bloggers don't hold back. We read a lot, so if it's good, if we say it's good, then it's good. So
okay, excellent. Looking forward to it.
Have you made lots of author friends since you started writing?
Well, I've certainly met quite a few, and everybody's been amazingly helpful. Whether they think I'm their friend or their weird stalker, I don't know. But yeah, no, I mean, people have been great. So everybody I've talked to has just been gone out of the way to be helpful, and people have been quite successful writers, and you think, oh well, they'll be too busy with their own thing, but no, absolutely, yeah. Lee Russell was the chair of the Debut Dagger committee, and I contacted her afterwards, thinking she'd tell me to get lost, but she was very helpful. She had suggestions, and yeah, brilliant. And everybody's
She's an amazing lady. Yeah, Lee Russell is awesome. I've got a lot of time for her. Yeah, so I'm not surprised at all. Plus, all authors are weird anyway, so you'll just be another one of your, no offense, but you are.
No. I'm sure there must be a word like weird that sounds a bit
less insulting, maybe.
Yeah.
If I think of it, then I shall.
Idiosyncratic. That was the word I was. Nice.
Yeah, you need a couple of coffees before you can even attempt. Weird is easier.
Yeah.
But I mean, we need you to keep doing it because we need books to keep reading. So, keep up the weird, it's fine.
I shall do.
Good. If you were to spend a day with any author, dead or alive, who would you like to spend a day with?
Ooh. Well, I suppose a few years ago, quite a few years ago now, when we were allowed to go abroad, we went to Cuba, and we spent a few days in Havana, and we went to Hemingway's bar, or one of the bars. I'm sure you frequented all of the bars, but there were a couple there that he said one did the best daiquiri in the world, and one did the best mojito in the world. So we had to go in and check them out. So and the I forget, I think it's the Floridita. They keep a chair, a stool by the bar or something where it's just cordoned off, and this is where supposedly Hemingway always used to sit. So it would be nice if he was sat there, and we could have a drink and have a chat, maybe go out on his boat, and yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, actually. And do you still read crime now? I know a lot of authors, when they start writing it, they can't read it anymore. Do you still get much chance to read?
Oh, really? Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm reading as much as ever, I think, really. And I've come across a lot of authors that I hadn't heard of previously now. So yes, I mean, yeah, finding the time is a little difficult, but no, when I can, absolutely, read as much as I can.
Yeah, your TBR will grow insane amount because everyone will want you to read their book, and then they'll offer to read yours in return, and yeah, you'll just have a mountain that you can never beat.
Mm-hmm. I'm always impressed with the people. I have a couple of friends who just can read a novel in a day, motor through it and remember everything that they read. And I'm a slow reader, I think.
Yeah, I've read 2 in a day once.
Wow.
I remember the book, but as soon as I close it, the character names go out of my head, which is very annoying when I'll go to review it. But apart from that, I can remember the story. I don't know what it is with character names. They're just gone. It's so annoying. So I make a note on my phone now. It's very embarrassing. If you're able to travel to any period of time, either forwards or backwards, where would you like to go?
Ooh. Well, to be honest, I have a problem with the whole time travel concept, I think, because I read too much science fiction as a youth, and there's always somebody going back in time, and they tread on a caterpillar, and then they come back to their present time, and the world's being run by Nazis or aliens or something. So I don't think I'd take the risk, really. Besides which, I'd be quite interested in going quite a way back in time, but you just know that the practicalities of the thing. You wouldn't understand what anybody said, and they didn't wash regularly, and there was no sanitation, and food hygiene is a problem. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would just pop into the future, but I'd be worried about what I'd find.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be looking at the future. I'd rather go back.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not writing, how do you like to spend your time?
Well, I'm kind of an outdoors sort of person, and go sailing and sea kayaking, and hiking, and what have you. It's nice now. We live. I'm from Leeds, in the middle of the country, and now I'm living down by the coast. So when I go down to the sea, it's a little bit like being on holiday. So yeah, we've taken up water sports and what have you. Really enjoying it.
Yeah, not this time of year, I'm guessing.
Oh no, still go out. We were out yesterday in the kayaks. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh wow!
It's rapid warm. It's one of those things with the. There's no such thing as bad weather, just inappropriate clothing. Put another extra layer on, and off you go.
It's like -1 today. Oh, that's crazy. Way too cold. If a genie was to grant you 3 wishes, what would you wish for?
Oh, that's a risky one, I think. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, again, in the stories, it always goes wrong, doesn't it? You wish for eternal life, and you just bored senseless or something, or you wish for money, and the money's fake, or and you get arrested. I don't know. But apart from good health and happiness, that would be it. That would be it. Even that would probably go wrong. Somehow, I'm a pessimist, I guess.
I had to notice. Since you started writing, what's been your standout highlight so far?
I think as a sort of an instantaneous thing was getting on the debut Dagger shortlist, because I mean that was a total surprise. So everything else after that has kind of been a bit more planned, and you had to work towards it. But that was just out of the blue, and I didn't even know on the day that I was on the list, because the email disappeared into the spam folder. So I thought, oh well, that's it, and I knew I had no chance. So I just looked on the website and saw my name there, and was running around the room. Yay. So I think so. Yeah, a lot of other good things happened, but that was the one that really had the instantaneous impact.
And what's your goal? What's your biggest dream?
Well, I think that the thing that I always wanted was to see one of my books on a bookshelf in a bookshop somewhere, and so we haven't quite got to that yet. We're at the ebook stage, so I'll be quite happy to get to that stage where there's some physical books out there, and I can point at them and pick them up. And after that, well, we'll see.
Go the stage further and get to be a winner rather than on the shortlist of the debut Dagger or the Dagger.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yes, get my golden dagger or my diamond dagger or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, knock that Mike Craven off his perch.
Oh God, yeah.
It's been up there for too long. Someone needs to take him down.
Absolutely.
Not me though. It's terrifying.
Oh really?
No, it's not. It's lovely, but he's a big guy. He's ex-forces and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. Oh well, I'll say nice things about his.
Yeah, it's probably best. No, he's lovely, honestly. Are you planning on going to any of the literary festivals this year?
I'm not, but apart from our local Portsmouth book festival, so I'll be there. I'm on a panel. Actually, I believe I'm on a panel with Lee Russell, so that's going to be quite something.
Nice.
So yes, it's going to be quite scary.
Oh, jealous. I haven't met her yet. I've spoke to her a few times on Zoom, but I've never met her. I'd love to meet her. Yeah, she is awesome. So yeah, that would be amazing. She'll look after you. You'll be fine.
Oh yeah. Got a couple of other people I know are going to be there. So.
Oh, that's cool. That always helps, doesn't it? So would you like to tell everyone a little bit about your book, and do you have a cover of any description that you can show off?
Oh well, yes, not quite, but we have the bookmark, and you can see that with the helicopter on the front. There you go. So yes. I was very impressed with the cover, actually.
Yeah, it's very eye-catching, actually. I must admit, when I was asked to do the blog tour, just from seeing the cover, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then I saw the description. I'm like, yep, I'll definitely do it.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So is there a sort of basic outline you can give everyone to tempt them to go buy it today?
Sure, yeah. So as I said, it's set on Borwig in the North Sea, and Danny Verity is a medic going out to this platform, the Coolin Alpha, for the first time. and there's a storm hits the platform, as it often does, and one of the crew is badly injured and he has to perform some life-saving surgery on this guy. And Danny's a former military policeman. He decides to have a bit of a closer look into the accident and finds that it's sabotage, and that there's somebody on board the rig who's trying to cut them off from the outside world, and is causing mayhem and death and so forth. So he has to find out who amongst the crew is the saboteur and stop him before he puts all their lives in danger. And, yeah, that's his challenge.
Awesome. Well, I can't think of any more questions for you unless you think there's anything I haven't asked you that you want to tell us about.
No, that's great. No, excellent.
Good. And would you like to tell everyone where they can find out more about you and where they can get your book from?
Okay, well, they can go on my website, which is chrisblackwater.co.uk. I'm on Facebook, as you know, and the book's available on Amazon. So,
I will put a link when I post the video for the book as well. So
brilliant.
If anyone likes the sound of it. And thank you for joining me.
Welcome, yes, and I hope you enjoy the book.